Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I want to say that I appreciate each and one of you who has been coming back to my podcast. And I wouldn't be where I am at if it wasn't for you guys. And in this podcast, I'm going to be talking about cheating, losing virginities, and red flags. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy this podcast and whatnot. And let's just get right into this podcast. I'm going to start off talking about cheating and my opinion and whatnot when it comes to that topic on cheating. When it comes to in a relationship, in cheating, I personally feel like it is stupid to do. And what's the point on cheating with someone if you don't want to be with them, or you're not in love with them and whatnot, and you just want to leave? Why can't you just break up with them? And I could understand that, you're afraid to or whatnot, but I personally feel like you're better off on breaking up with that person than sneaking around, going behind your partner's back, and cheating. And in my opinion, you're better off the long run on just overall breaking up with that person and overall tell them that you're not attracted or interested in a relationship, and just call it off than cheating. And that's my personal red flags, is cheating. I personally have not been cheated. Let me go back a little bit. Excuse me. In my past relationships, I have for sure gotten cheated on once, to my knowledge, in one of my previous relationships. But I've never cheated on a partner in my life out of all my relationships that I have been in. But I have had an ex of mine who cheated on me. And if you're interested in knowing that experience and what happened, how I found out, I do have a video on that on my main channel. If you search under the lines of my cheating experience, or I've gotten cheated on story time, and add Hannah Audrey in it, you would see it. So if you go on my main channel and check that out and whatnot. And so if you're interested in that video, go check that out. And like I said, that cheating is one of my biggest red flags. And I remember with my current relationship that I'm in right now, I will be together with him the end of March of 2023. I will be together with him for 5 years. And I remember within the first roughly 6 months of our relationship, I remember that I told him that my biggest things that I would not tolerate was cheating and abusing me in any shape or form. So I count that mixed between boundaries and red flags that I have for myself and whatnot. So I feel like it's important for, when it comes to relationships, you tell them your boundaries / red flags. So if they will break that boundary and whatnot, then they know that relationship isn't best for fit for them. So, and whatnot. But I remember that when it comes to cheating, when it comes to school, I remember that. So when I started high school, I remembered the class, all the students gets to have iPads. And I remembered one year that I tried to cheat on a test through the iPads because the test was on iPads and whatnot. And that's when it comes to tests, I would say that time was the first time I've ever tried cheating on a test. And don't do that. But as far as I know, the teachers never really knew, or that specific teacher knew or does know. If you're watching this, hi. But I would not recommend cheating. Rather, it's on a test at school or in a relationship. Neither of them will get you that far in life. So, yeah. When it comes to red flags, and whatnot, like with me, I think I kind of told you guys already that like red flags, the main two red flags that I personally won't tolerate at all is cheating and abuse. And that I feel like that part is a mix between a red flag and boundaries and having respect for not only with yourself and whoever you're going to be in a relationship with. And I think it's healthy to have red flags in some shape or form. And sometimes when it comes to like red flags and whatnot, it can be helpful, but it can be unhealthy. Like, there are some things that you can work on if somebody has certain red flags. Like, if somebody has bad hygiene, that's a red flag. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, that is a red flag, but there are some red flags that you can erase, per se, or be more lenient, because some people might need that extra help. Not being on medication, that could be a red flag if you need medication. Some people might need that extra help to do X, Y, and Z, and that support or reminder once in a great blue moon. And then at times, I don't know, it's good to have. I feel like red flags and boundaries are kind of a similar situation, at least in my opinion. But that's just me. Because it can go both ways on knowing what you would tolerate in a relationship or what you want. And certain kind of things can balance each other out, per se. It's good to have red flags and whatnot, but it's also, it's kind of like that healthy and unhealthy boundaries and whatnot. There are some things that can be tolerable, and some things aren't. And I don't know, when it comes to red flags, like, there are a lot of people who will say, like, if you have pets, it's a red flag. Like, can you like more of a realistic and non-realistic kind of red flags, and it kind of determine how unhealthy person you might be or the other person can be if they have like a lot of red flags. It's kind of like a fantasy kind of thing, if that makes any sense. I'm kind of like being all over the place and just thinking out loud and whatnot. But that's kind of a brief opinion of mine when it comes to like red flags. Some people are like wanting a fantasy partner and having such a red flag list, or con lists, or what you don't want or what you do want in a relationship. I don't know. I personally feel like my red flags are more like a boundary, like what you will or won't tolerate. And with certain kind of things determine on a lot of other things, rather it's like health reasons, rather it's mentally or physically and etc. too, I guess. Maybe I don't know, but I'm kind of went on and on and on about it and whatnot. And when it with this next topic on losing virginities and whatnot, I really, really think it's really crazy nowadays in 2023. 2022 and this generation nowadays. I really think it's so crazy on how young kids are starting to have sex. I think it's so freaking sad. I don't know if it's always been this way or if it's just the older I get, the more I notice much, much younger kids are doing it. And some of them are like preteens and in middle school. And even though I know some people when I was in middle school were doing it, but like there are like some people who are like just starting middle school. It kind of that in between like elementary and middle school that like is just starting. And I think it's so crazy how like these young kids who are like not somewhere anywhere between like 9 to like 12 are like doing it nowadays, and it's just like you're too young. And it's so crazy in my opinion, and it's sad. And I don't know, I just think it's so crazy and very sad that now these generations, more kids are having kids. And it's just so flippin' crazy and sad. And I'm not saying that I was better or anything, because I was young. I would say you could say that when I lost mine, I was 16. But there were people who are younger than 16. And I think that's really, really crazy and sad. And I don't know if it's because of like people at school and pressuring and trying to fit in, or an out of, what's that word? I can't think of the word. I can't think of the word. Like rational thinking kind of thing, per se. Or if it's their parents not paying attention and not caring and not putting that knowledge to their kids and taking it as serious as they think, or not knowing when to when to talk to them. But it's so, like, holy crap kind of thing. But I don't know. But I feel like it's so crazy how nowadays kids are, like, having sex nowadays younger and younger and younger nowadays within the last few years. And a lot of kids nowadays are just growing up way too fast. And it's just crazy and whatnot. I don't know. That's all I gotta say, honestly. But I'm gonna wrap up this podcast. And if you guys enjoyed this podcast, let me know in the comments and let me know what your guys' thoughts are on these 3 topics. And if you want me to talk about more on any of these 3 topics, let me know in the comments. And let me know also if you want me to answer any questions that you may have that you want me to answer. I will do my very best. I'm probably making a part 2 on these topics if you would like. And I hope to see you next Wednesday. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. And if you guys do, let me know. And I will see you next Wednesday. Bye.